Hello everyone, my name is Andre, CEO of Omnius Web Development. In this video, I'm going to do something I haven't really done before, and it's showing you a behind the scenes for how a website designer thinks. So I'm going to do that through a before and after. And a lot of people just intuitively can see the before and after changes. They can see, agree that these changes look good and they're valuable, but they don't really know the thought process that goes behind them and reading between the lines. So that's what I really want to go through in this video, and hopefully you can apply these same ideas to your websites as well. So just some context for who it is. It's a new chiropractor. She's really like started her practice up, I think last year or this year, I'm not too sure, but she didn't want to do a whole website redesign. She had her website on Squarespace, and I told her, you know what, you can just hire me for a bundle of hours because I don't just do, complete website designs from scratch. I can also do website redesigns where you hire me for a bundle of hours. So I was like, let's do that. And the project was really just changing the homepage so that when she has people referred to her, or word of mouth, or maybe if she's running some Facebook ads, they can go to the homepage and just convert from there. So it's really just a small project, but a good website designer, it doesn't matter what tool they're using, WordPress, coding with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Squarespace even. I haven't done many websites on Squarespace, but it's not about the tool, it's about what can the website designer do with those tools. It's all about the results. So I'm really tool agnostic. There are stuff I prefer using, but Squarespace is pretty powerful for a lot of business owners. They don't really have to go start from scratch and do WordPress or coding. They could probably do it themselves with Squarespace. So I know that might be rare to hear from a website designer, but it's the truth. So, anyways, I just want to get into how I made this Squarespace website great, and hopefully you can do the same thing with your website. So let me make myself small and okay. So you can see all my tabs and bookmarks and stuff. It's okay. It's very boring as you can see. But so here's a before. I'm going to just do a quick scroll through. And here, I'll just go to the live site. Here's the after. As you can see, it's a lot longer. So the structure of this video is really just going to be 10 points corresponding to roughly every section on the homepage that give you a better idea into why I did what I did. So yeah, let's just get straight to that. Point number 0, okay, this actually wasn't planned to be in the video, but I hate when I see this. The logo in the top left, okay, that's a JPEG or just not transparent. So you can see the white background is not transparent. It's just so frustrating for me to see these. So this wasn't part of my like the project scope at all. I could have just left it how it was, but I had to fix it. That's what I do. So it's a simple fix, but as you can see, that looks way better, right? So okay, so number 1 is the header. Not just this, but the header is what people see as soon as they land on the site. So what a lot of people don't know is bounce rate, and bounce rate is the number of or the percentage of visitors that land on your site and leave without doing anything else. So all they do is they see this header, something just doesn't engage them, or they think this isn't who they are looking for, and they leave. So bounce rate is around like 40 to 80%, sometimes a bit less than 40, sometimes over 80. But if you can imagine that, if it's 80% and there's, you have a pretty terrible website if you're at 80%, but that's the reality. There's a lot of bad websites out there. 80%, that means only 1 in 5 people that land on your site actually continue scrolling. So there's just so much potential if you're able to cut that down to if you're able to cut that down from 80 to 60%, that's actually double the amount of people that engage with your site, which you might think 80 to 40%, but no, it's actually the math is 80 to 60%. So really bounce rate is a huge thing to keep in mind. And hopefully you have Google Analytics installed and you can look at those stats yourself. So when it comes to the header, the number one job is to make sure people don't click away. Okay, it's not to sell anything. It's not to it's not to make you laugh. It's not to do anything. It's to make you do this. It's to scroll down. That's it. And so, as you can see here, this is not engaging at all. Okay, here it's just a picture of plants. The text is not centered, and it's a bit vague. So I told her, luckily she had a bunch of high quality photos, so she just put them in a Google Photos folder, and I was just able to choose some the best ones to put on the site. And one, it should always be like, if not you, then other people. I should take my own advice if you take a look at my website, but it's gonna come. But ideally, it should be you, because for small business owners, people don't work with your business; they work with you. Until you've got maybe 10 employees, you're going to be doing so much of the one-to-one with people, and people want to know who they're working with. So number one is you got to have yourself in the header or something more engaging. Okay, plants are not the way to go. Okay, number two, I asked her to provide me with some like slogans and quotes, because I actually have a nice structure. You can steal this structure if you like. So number one is like who it is. For me, it would be Omnius Web Development would be this text. Then here is just sort of like what you do. And then here is a quote. So for me, I sort of skipped the what you do because Omnius Web Development, it's in the name. But my quote is web development for the 2020s, I believe. So that's sort of the structure you want to do, is like who it is, what you do, and then a quote, sort of separating you from other people in your industry. Sort of like a value proposition. Okay. So that was one and two, the header, picture, and the quote. Three is the about. So as you can see, the about was not there on the homepage. And I've got a unique way of looking at things. Some might say weird. I prefer unique. But I think a website is, you should picture a website as like a salesperson, one of your salespeople, they go to a trade show. And how do they interact with someone at the trade show? Do they instantly like shake the person's hand and then start telling them all the services they provide? That's probably not how it goes. They shake the person's hand. They probably get to know one another, like who they are about, right? And then you ease into stuff. So I think a website should sort of reflect a natural conversation that a salesperson might have, in a sense, because a website is like a 24/7 salesperson. So obviously there are a lot of differences, but I think the idea, like the fundamental idea that you want to like ease into, essentially the sell, is vital for obviously sales, but also for websites. So about, like, some people might put it at the bottom and then mix these sections up. And I make sure to have the sections in a very, like, in a way that flows. So initially you get to know who the person is, and then you get to know like how they do stuff. And then you're more open to hearing testimonials. Like, imagine if the testimonials were the first thing you saw. It's like someone walks up to you, introduces you, and they start talking about all the happy clients they've had, and you're like, who the hell are you? So there is a very natural flow in conversations that people understand, but they oftentimes don't do that on websites. So here, I mean, there was just wasn't an about at all. And you definitely do need one. Like I was saying, it's like a salesperson coming up to you selling, and you don't know who they are at all or who they're with. So you do need the about for sure. And point number 3 is just about the about, but also like a natural flow to the website, just like a salesperson in a conversation. So try and picture that in your head. I'm sure you're gonna maybe get some ideas for how you can improve your website. Okay, so number 4, right? So here, as you can see, I've got your back. Is It's the same stuff as here. And what I wanted to say here is some things are worth their own sections. Some things are more like a transition section. You know, this is cute. It's really cool. I've got your back and your neck, shoulders, elbows, etc. It really shows off her persona. It's more personal. So I did want to keep that, but it's not worth its own section. So just put that there as sort of a transition section. So here we're comparing a collaborative approach to this Dr. De Silva's approach. Okay, in this one, I sort of have a lot to say here. So what I like to do for business owners is usually they have something very, very standard. Like this is very standard, you know, a standard approach. I like to approach that as sort of a way for us to develop some intellectual property for you. So not actually create some IP, you know, at a law office, but just figuratively to create something that's yours. So it's one thing to say I'm patient-centered, collaborative, human, or I should just say, it's one thing to say you have a collaborative approach. It's another to say Dr. De Silva's approach and then outline the things you do, right? So you sort of own it. And everyone knows, I mean, she hasn't, she's not the only chiropractor that does this stuff, right? Patient-centered, collaborative, humanized care. There's a bunch of chiropractors that do that stuff. But the reality is, when it comes to brands, brands are really businesses doing the exact same stuff, but putting their own twist on it. Like there's a million soft drinks out there that taste the same, but they have their own twist to it. So this is really the exact same idea, is instead of saying, I do these things, you own what you're doing and put it more into a package. It's like the idea, it's like the difference between speaking with business owners about here's all my unique ideas versus writing a book and putting that into a book, and you sort of own the book. You don't own the ideas, of course, but you do own the ability to say, you know, here is my approach, here's how I think about things. And it's just another level of trust that you develop with visitors. So that's what I did with this section. I asked her to provide for me another 2 things. And so she wrote the humanized care and patient-centered parts. And yeah, I think it's all about creating your own IP, figuratively. So that's that. Here, happy clients. She didn't have testimonials on the before site, and testimonials are absolutely vital. I always tell clients that's one of the most important things you can have on a homepage. There's actually a pretty scary statistic out there that says people trust an online review almost as much as a personal recommendation from a friend. So the reason I say that's scary is imagine how easy it is to abuse that, you know, and people do abuse it because they use fake reviews all the time. And the sad part is it works, right? So I'm definitely I'm not saying to use fake reviews, never do that. But if you do have legit reviews, people that have used your services and love what you've done, you need to feature them on your website. So that's what I did here. I think actually after this video, I should make this text a bit larger. But like testimonials are absolutely vital. And just I guess I do want to say the design aspect. I'm not too happy about this. Squarespace is really good at a lot of different things, but just the testimonials sections they have is just I'm not too happy about. So I think I might just go and redo this whole section after, but that's for after the video. This point, I just want to really emphasize you need testimonials because that plays a huge decision on how much plays a huge part on people's decision to work with you. Here, this is just me having some fun creatively. If you start today, if you click this, goes to your contact page, and it's sort of paired with this transition section where she's dispelling some common myths and helping you decide if you want to start now or something you want to put off. So actually, this should probably go underneath. As you can see, a website is never really truly finished. I went through this twice over, but even now there's things I see that I can improve on the site. So yeah, a website never really is finished, I guess, just like a piece of art, as artists like to say. So okay, here is something new. Video Ask. It's called Video Ask. This is the tool. It's something that came out around 2 months ago, and she's the first client. I've used it on myself, and then I asked her, "Do you want to give this a shot?" I told her what it is, and she was super up for it. So it's a form, but it lets people watch videos alongside each step. So it's a lot more personal. It does this exact same thing a contact form does, but it just adds another level of personality. And I think it does depend a lot on the industry. But when it comes to chiropractors, that is a very personal profession. They're touching your bare back for what, like an hour? So, and you're talking with them. So it is very personal. So you might have noticed I have a lot of pictures of her on the site, and it's because that's the nature of the business. Okay, I'm not going to do that on like a manufacturing website. Probably no pictures maybe one picture of the team, and that's it, right? Because it's a whole different service and how the service is being provided. So in this website, I really wanted to emphasize her because she's going to be working so closely with her clients. So I want them to really get to know her before they speak to her, if that makes sense. So I'll just show you.
Hi, I'm Dr. De Silva, and I help people move and feel better. Thank you for taking this first step. Are you looking to heal an old injury or be proactive with your...
So she's asking a question, and then you can respond, and then goes to
It's very
the next
important for me.
thing, and then you can type, the answer, and she's gonna get it in her inbox. So here is a contact form because this is more experimental. I'm not just gonna leave the home page without just this. I'm honestly I'm not too sure how this works. Like I said, it is experimental. It's something I'm trying out. So it does definitely add personality, even if no one ends up completing the form. There's like 5 questions. They definitely will see this video and maybe trust her a tiny bit more. A website is really about tiny things that move people along a path, and the end result is a call to action, or the last step in the path is a call to action. By that, I mean booking an appointment, making a phone call, submitting the contact form. So it's really all about moving people alongside that path bit by bit. And this video is one small step to do that. So here's the contact form. Here, the Care Made Easy section, I mixed that into the contact form. Okay, another thing I'm going to have to do is add the Google Maps. Although I'm not sure. Yeah, I will have to do that. But so I mixed this in together because, okay, I'll actually give you the context. So I always do my research with competitors before making a website. So I haven't made a chiropractor website before, so I wanted to see like how other chiropractor websites are set up, because I do have a lot of website fundamentals knowledge, but chiropractor specific knowledge, I have no clue. I actually haven't been to one ever. So I saw a section that I thought was genius because there's a lot of sticking points before someone decides to hire a chiropractor that I wasn't aware of. And this section I saw on this website was all about just removing those sticking points, assuring you that you're not going to waste your time, your money contacting us. We're going to take care of you. So I sent her that and I told her, don't copy this, but can you write something similar? Um, and you know, she came up with this, which is great. So this part here was copied, so the first part, but here is the part I was just talking about. So the assurances I'm talking about are every patient does not need an x-ray, you will not need to come back every week, direct deposit is accepted, which I found out is a big thing. So right here, the last step, you know, the contact form is the last step. This is what you want people to do. So you want to remove any friction between that last step. And so this text here is all about removing that friction. And again, you know, what I was saying about a website is never finished. I could spend 10 hours improving the text around here, just removing the friction in the last step. You know, there's always so much more you could do. And the reality is you have to, you can't be a perfectionist when it comes to website design. By that, I mean, you have to work within the client's budget. So I'm not going to be working 30 hours on this project when she just wants the homepage done, just something good enough where people are impressed by it, they trust her, and they can submit their contact info. So yeah, that's the reality. I think there could be more work done. Copywriting, especially, is such a long process. Copywriting is a copy that sort of convinces people to take action. That's the formal term for it. So, I mean, copywriting, you can spend days on it. So that's that. And last thing is the facts section. I don't think this section is about giving out information. Most facts fact fact sections are about giving out information, but I think they're so overplayed. No one really reads them anymore these days. Um, so I decided I gave her these questions, or I asked her to come up with some questions, and I liked her how her personality shone through in the responses. So absolutely not motion is lotion, right? Something like that really gives you a good idea of who you're working with. So this plays back to my point of I want people to feel like they know her before they've contacted her, or even, you know, before they've worked with her. I want them to know her. So little things like this show people they're not going to contact someone that doesn't care, that's like a big corporate business that won't be available. You know, I want them to see that this is another, you know, human being, a passionate business owner, and someone that's going to be able to take care of them. So I think the facts section is where you can let some of your voice shine through, because a lot of the other sections you do have to be more professional. Um, you know, I don't think it'd be appropriate to say motion is lotion in I mean any other section really. Maybe in a transition section. But yeah, so the facts section is really where um, your voice is allowed to shine through, I believe. So um, that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to go through. Um, Oh, another thing is a call to action, another call to action that brings you to the contact page. There should be several throughout the page. There shouldn't be only one thing people can do to take action. There should be like three or four. That's just a standard practice, because the more call to actions there are, the more likely someone will convert. Of course, there is such a thing as too many. So don't go above 4 or 5 on a page, a long page, that is. So yeah, I know this website was a bit long. It really, you can imagine how long this video could be if I went through a whole website redesign. So I don't think I'll be doing that. But yeah, this was the, like, all of my thoughts behind every single change on the homepage. As you can see, good website designers put a lot of thought into everything that goes onto a website. They don't just copy and paste stuff from competitors. They don't, just use a template. It's really all about creatively finding a way for people to take that path. I was talking about, a website is a path, the end result being the call to action being completed. So there is the before and after. I really hope you're able to get some ideas on how you can use my thoughts on your website. Like my ideas about making sure your website flows like a salesperson converses, making sure the header is engaging, making sure that you have a bunch of call to actions. And I think an important one that I see missing a lot is owning stuff, like the approach. Another thing I like to do is for me, for example, like the omnius guarantee. That's something I'm playing around with. So it doesn't have to be, when I say owning stuff, it doesn't have to be anything you like legally own. It's something you put together, you add your twist to it. You really make it part of your brand. So, I think every website, you should definitely have stuff like this. Your approach, maybe your mission, your values is another example. Your process, just all those things. Whatever you're doing, you might feel like it's common knowledge. Everyone does this, and maybe everyone does do it, but you'll get a lot more out of sort of bringing that closer to home and calling it yours. So that's that. Hopefully you liked the video. If you want to see more videos like this, shoot me a message. If you'd like to, work with me on something like this. But if you'd like to see more videos, just give it a like or a comment, and I'll record more videos like this. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.